The day I stopped grunting at my daughter's boyfriend, I was never going to like the guy my daughter brought home from college. Chloe is a straight A, pre-med student, sharp, organized, and focused. Then, she brings home Leo. Leo wore oversized vintage flannels, had a scruffy beard, and talked about the energy of the room way too much. He was a graphic designer, which to me just sounded like a fancy word for unemployed. For 6 months, I gave him the absolute cold shoulder. If he asked how my week was, I gave him a grunt. If he smiled, I looked at my phone. I figured, if I ignored him long enough, he'd just fade away. Then came Super Bowl Sunday. My wife and Chloe left the house to grab more wings and chips before kickoff, leaving me alone with Leo. The silence in the living room was so heavy you could hear the ice melting in my soda. I was aggressively staring at the TV, pretending the pre-game analysis was the most important thing on earth. Suddenly, the power grid in our neighborhood completely blew. The TV went black, the lights died. Total pitch-black silence. I let out a massive sigh, ready to go fumble for a flashlight, when I heard Leo clear his throat in the dark. He whispered, "Hey man, do you want to see a really bad magic trick?" I paused. It was so absurd I actually let out a dry laugh. I said, "Sure, kid. Light 'em up." He clicked on his phone's flashlight, pulled a completely crumpled deck of cards from his pocket, and proceeded to fail miserably at 3 straight card tricks. The cards literally flew out of his hands and scattered across the coffee table. We both just sat there. And then we started laughing. Like real, belly laughing. With the ice finally broken, he admitted he was absolutely terrified of me. We ended up sitting on the floor in the dark, sharing a bag of stale pretzels, talking for 2 straight hours. I found out Leo didn't just doodle. He actually ran a highly successful freelance design business, paid his own tuition, and was fiercely protective of my daughter's dreams. He wasn't lazy. He was just peaceful. By the time the lights clicked back on, and my wife and Chloe walked through the front door, they found the 2 of us sitting on the living room rug arguing intensely about whether a hot dog counts as a sandwich. Chloe stood in the doorway, staring at us like she'd just seen a ghost. Leo looked up, flashed his usual goofy grin, and said, "Hey, we saved you some pretzels." That night changed everything. I stopped grunting and started listening. Turns out the kid is all right.